Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first round of the GT4 Intercontinental Championship. And we're live from Kyalami, and we've joined with a new, well, not new, but new with me, commentator for this evening. And we're joined by Julian. How are you, Julian?
Hello, I'm really fine. Thanks for having me today.
That's good. So if you're in the chat, just because obviously it's a new commentator, we've not quite sorted the audio levels out. So if Julian is louder than me or I am louder than Julian, then please let us know. We can get it moved around. But how are you feeling on being on Tuesday nights?
It's better than being on a weekend because I actually have nothing to do on Tuesday night. So it's lovely having finally something to do.
Excellent, yeah, that's what I mean. So we've replaced the Battle Series with the Intercontinental GT4 Sprint Series, and what that basically consists of is it's going to be 5 rounds, very similar to the Championship Series, but people can just turn up and drive. We've not got a set championship on Sim Racing GP, which are very nicely hosting all our servers for us. But people can you can always turn up and drive. You can pick any car, and it's going to go across all the Intercontinental tracks plus our regular favourite of Spa. And which one are you looking forward to the most, Julian?
Well, I have to honestly say it's going to be a bit of a boring choice, but in the last 2.4-hour race, I really grew to love Bathurst, and I think I'm really looking forward to having that as our season finisher.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be one to keep an eye on is Bathurst. I mean, if it's anything like Sunday was, we're going to be in for a show, especially with these. So this evening is 50 car grids, so we're going to have 50 car grids on all 5 events, and Bathurst with 50 cars that are all GT4s. What could go wrong? Essentially,
just everything. Everything could go wrong, but we are not in Murphy's Law here, so not everything will go wrong.
Excellent stuff. So let us know in the chat. Like we said, we've not been here for a little while. I only noticed earlier, we've had about 18 days off since the end of Season 1. And just to kind of put a closure on Season 1, we were going to have an end of season review show at the weekend, but that didn't come to plan. But our Lord and Saviour Steve Worrell has put together a little video for us just to say thanks.
Sorry I can't be there tonight. I've got to work, unfortunately. That started to sound a bit like an acceptance speech at some sort of award ceremony, but I can't be here tonight because real world shit. But yeah, just wanted to say thank you to everyone who took part in Season 1. First ever league that I've completed. I've dipped my toe into a couple of leagues and done a couple of races before, but I've never completed a league, so it was amazing. First league I've ever completed, the first league I've ever run. So yeah, can't believe the way that it's blown up actually. When I started it, I was really hoping for 10 to 15 drivers that we could, get together regularly and have a race. We're, I think, nearly 700 members on Discord and 350 on Sim Racing GP, which is going to be going live soon to the public. So we'll be probably the biggest community on Sim Racing GP when the doors open, which is pretty cool. So I'm really excited by that. But yeah, really looking forward to Season 2. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I think we've had something like 100 odd people join since my last video. We're looking, I think, probably grid sizes of around 50 for Season 2, which is just going to be absolutely mental. So some big news coming up for Sim Racing GP and in turn ACCSS as well. So more on that soon. But keep your eyes peeled on Sim Racing GP. Make sure you're checking out the other communities because there's going to be some really cool stuff happening on there. Thanks again to everyone who drove in Season 1, and thank you to everyone that's taken part in Season 2. Thank you to everyone who contributes in ACCSS, from the moderators and the stewards and Dan and Gareth and everyone on the media team. You guys do an amazing job. I'm really looking forward to what Dan and everyone's put together for Season 2. So yeah, thank you again. Can't quite believe that we're doing what we're doing, but let's make the most of it. So yeah, thank you everyone for taking part, and really looking forward to Season 2. Yeah, it's going to be great fun, and I'll see you on track. Cheers. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we're back then, ladies and gentlemen. So like I said, that was Steve's sort of thank you video for season 1, and like I said, we wouldn't be here without him and the effort that he puts in. So why has that? Oh, there we go. Let's turn not that one off. Let's put that one up there. There we go. So now you can see free practice as well on the screen. So a few little changes that we're making here and there. You'll notice them as we go throughout the stream. Unfortunately, Boom Replay has gone. It has seen better days, and unfortunately, it's very close to destroying my PC. But we have got some new bits and pieces. Let's have a little look. What bits are you most looking forward to, Julian, when it comes to the new bits that we've added or taken away when it comes to the stream?
I'm really looking forward to every change, because every change has the possibility of being positive or being negative. It's kind of interesting not knowing what you will get.
yeah, exactly. Like I said, so we haven't got ones to watch. You'll see we've added a new ones to watch feature, which you will see on. Actually, we could test it this evening if while you're looking through the grids, Julian. If you want to pick one that's going to pick a driver that's going to stick out to yourself, but just keep it in your head for now and let me know shortly. We've got some new ones to watch integration. We've got new countdown videos, which if you were here for the start, you would have seen. We've got new music for them, and if you want to look at what the music is, there's new commands as well. So there we go. There's the chat there. The bot has put the songs that we have for the countdown in the description. What has gone? So Boom Replays, they've gone for now. We're still looking at implementing a system that can sort of replace that, but we've not quite worked out how to do that. So that's basically going to mean we're going to have to rely on your Twitch clips. So if you see anything during the season or during the racing while we're looking that you like the look at, or that you enjoy, or maybe a big crash or a really good overtake, make sure you clip it, and then you can, in the Discord, we're going to change instant replays to Twitch clips, and you can put the clip in there so we can go back and have a look at those really good moments that you guys, the community, enjoy. What else have we got rid of? Let's have a quick look here. So fastest lap's gone. We were tossing and turning with a few different ideas for fastest lap, but unfortunately we've retired that feature for season 2. And the track walkthroughs, put it very bluntly, they take a lot of time to do. As we just see in the free practice, there's a big pack of them going around at the moment. But the track walkthroughs are gone. They take a lot of time to create, and they're not very on the screen very often, so we've kind of got rid of them. But yeah, as Julian will elaborate on a little bit, we love your feedback and we always listen to your feedback. So, yeah, any thoughts on any of the stuff we just mentioned, Julian?
Yeah, it's all about streamlining in the end, after all, and we can only do what works out really well. We do, and I want to reinforce that point, we do enjoy every bit of feedback. We listen to every bit of feedback and evaluate it, and just hit up on the Discord on the stream feedback channel if you have anything to add, or just type it right now in chat if there's anything immediate.
And for those that are wondering, Stream Racer is still a consistent feature in the stream. Everyone loved it towards the end of last season. We're not going to use it as much as we did, but it will be around, and we will have Stream Racer for next season, which is for this season even, because we're now in this season. I love that feedback. I have some feedback. You guys are great. See, we'll have that. We'll have that all day.
Thank you very much for that.
So, on to Kyalami, and we have 38 drivers currently connected, Julian.
That is massive. You know, I have been in a race yesterday in a McLaren single make cup, and there were only 15 people racing, and it was difficult to negotiate in the beginning. Let's just leave it at that.
Every race is difficult to begin, difficult to navigate at the beginning. But yeah, go on, carry on.
Yeah, no, but it really showed yesterday that even if in the beginning you don't have a good start, you can still make up positions through your natural pace. It's gonna even it out sooner or later. Of course, we have 20 minutes races, I believe, today,
Yes.
which is a bit on the short side, but it's still gonna even itself out, especially in these GT4 cars, where I have to say I tried them before, and all of them have different strengths and weaknesses. Basically, we could see overtakes each lap today simply because of the different weaks and strengths that are being shown on Kyalami.
Yeah, definitely. I think like there's a lot of like I said, because of the GT4 Championship, where it's replaced the Battle Series. Drivers that got banned in Season 1 of the GT3 Championship can still race in these. So like you see, we've still got Shane is here, Rob's here, I believe, as well. So Shane's still here, Rob's here as well. Who was the other? It was Markowski, was it not? That was the third to get banned.
Maciej Markowski, yes.
I don't think he's here. He's not in here this evening, but like I said, they're more than welcome to join us. You've got the likes of them guys, with the likes of, and they won't hate me for saying it, but with alongside the same likes as Gareth, like one of the commentators, one of the people in the stream team that you've met and have interacted with. We've got like Gareth driving, Norman Bruce, who was in the now called Pro Split, which actually we can talk about a little bit in a second, the changes we've made there. But we've got Norman, as he's just disappeared into a wall. That's because I've lost connection to the server. At least it's now. Before before the racing has started. Let's go and fix that.
You had me scared there.
Oh, I lost connection to the server. Let me go and sort that back out. I'll tell you what, you can have us a little chat about Kyalami. You can give it I had a brief look at the track map, but you can give us a little verbal tour of the South African Outback track.
Well, let me immediately change it up, because I would rather have everyone show it in the beginning of the qualifying.
Yeah, okay,
so
we'll do that then.
I'll give you a bit of history on Kyalami.
Yep.
Because the track, of course, it's a weird name for us, but it's actually the Zulu name for Kyalami, which means my home. Which it's an interesting name to pick for a racetrack. As everyone knows, racing is a very time-intensive and resource-intensive hobby, and most of the racers who are professional out there consider their home racetracks their second, or maybe even in some cases their first home. So it's a very fitting name, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you said, the track having some meaning, and the name having a meaning. Like I said, we'll have a little chat as we get into qualifying in around 5 minutes time, about all the different corner names. And let's actually have a little look at the car choice then, because we have got 50 drivers on track. So I've lost my mouse. Let me find where my mouse. There it is. And the one that strikes a fear in my heart, we'll put it that way, is Mr. Jones, who is currently in P9. For some reason, there he is. Martin. Oh, he's in the pit. But still, he's in the Maserati. He's a madman.
He's actually in the Maserati.
Yes, he is. So a couple of drivers were hovering the Maserati and then changed. But he has stuck to his guns and is driving the Maserati.
I will be honest, massive props just for doing that. I tried the Maserati around Kyalami, and it was my slowest car because I could not deal with not having anti-lock braking system.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I've not tried many of the GT4s, just a couple, and one of those was the one I've tried, and it's just very difficult as a rookie-centric driver, which like the community is itself. To pick it up and drive it was very, very tricky. Let's put it that way. Let's have a little look at what else we've got. Fan favourite, a favourite of mine, the KTM Expo. We've got quite a few of them in the grid this evening. I mean, that thing's just not a car, is it? Let's be honest.
It is a jet. It is more of a jet if you look at the cockpit. I actually want to say in this case.
Let's see what the broadcasting cockpit cam looks like. Let's have a a KTM that is on track. P20 Rodriguez, he's on track. Let's have a little look at the. Oh, it's a better view in this. It's a better in this view than it is on in game.
Do you think so?
Well, what if actually I drive? What do I drive with? Not that one. The view that's dash. I drive with dash.
Dash. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I actually end up driving bonnet with this one. So. Yeah.
The amazing thing about the KTM is you have the most view out of every car, simply because there's no A-pillar, there's just the roll cage.
Yeah, so there's loads of. You can't really get involved in an accident because and the excuse. Well, you can, but the excuse can't be you can't see.
Definitely. That is Austrian engineering at its finest.
So let's have a little look then who we've got in the field that people. Our community may know, and then the ones that may not know, because we've got quite a few new drivers. Like I said, the season 2 starts this Sunday, and we're massively. Well, I say oversubscribed isn't the right word, but we're massively. So there's nearly. Steve said there's nearly 200 drivers for the championship this weekend. Which, to put it in perspective, we had 90 on season 1, and we had about 120 sign-ups for season 1, and only 90 drivers. Whereas season 2, we're at nearly 200 drivers already registered their interest to sign up.
The word has definitely gotten around, yes.
I mean, as a media team and a broadcast team, we'd like to take credit for that, but let's be honest, it's all Steve's videos.
Of course. Those reek of quality almost.
Yeah, exactly. So when we said we weren't going to do a review show, he was like, I'm sure you'll hear from Dan and the broadcast team about their plans. I was like, I'm not doing a video. I cannot match that quality.
Well,
the camera quality.
Let me revert. Go back to the talking point that you were before. Fan favorite, probably our most favorite Kolby Elbow. Or, as it's actually pronounced, Kolbjörn Albu, in the KTM, and in his lovely Norwegian racing beige livery that we know and love.
I love the colour combo, and like I said, Norwegian racing beige. He is actually not even a crowd favourite. He's just my favourite. That's why he has his own emote. He's the only one that has his own emote. And thoroughly deserved, driving my favourite GT4, and probably the most difficult name I've ever had to pronounce. Now, saying that, there is a driver this season who has a more complicated name, and I'm going to see if he's in here tonight. Let's have a quick look.
I don't think he is.
He's not, but there is one though. Go on, crack on with P3, Julian.
Dražen Trifunovic.
There you go. That's all you. You've got that. You've got that under control.
I even know where that name comes from. It is Bosnia and Herzegovina.
See, there we go then. So free practice is over. We're going to jump over to qualifying. Where's the actual button? It's been so long since we've done this. I've forgotten where all my hotkeys and buttons are. And there we go then. We're full screening it up for season 2. Now, the gap that you can see on screen is obviously the gap to the car in front during qualifying. But actually, I realise if I press... Oh, I pressed the wrong button. This button is what I want. And then I want to press this one. And now you can see a delta to the cars on track. Which is new and undocumented. You love an undocumented change that isn't in the patch notes.
That is actually a really good change. I like that.
So you can see the gap to the car in front and what position they're in. So we're going to use and abuse this a lot during the race. It only gives us a good selection of cars. I think it's only 10 cars as well. But then we can get this feature back up as well. So the drivers just finishing up their laps as we move into qualifying. Let us know how you are in chat. Let's see how many of you are in here. There's my mouse gone again. Every time I tab in and tab out, it disappears. How many we've got of you tonight? 32 of you. Fantastic numbers for our first stream back for season 2. And now I'm off camera, I can also try and bury round for my controller cable, so we can get the legendary free cam shots back up as well. Where is it? There it is. So Julian, what are you looking forward to most here going into round one of Kyalami, round one of the GT4s?
I'm looking for a very clean race, and as the qualifying is now starting, I'm really looking forward to get a clean qualifying. They extra got 15 more minutes to each and every one get their own timing, and I hope they all make the most of it.
Yes, I'm not too sure what car got out first. It's definitely got a 9 in it.
That is Reese Notenboom.
There we go. So he is down here. There he is. He's the first car out on track then for qualifying.
He's driving around. Yeah, he's driving around in the Aston Martin. Sorry, I just wanted to mention that. And this is the car personally, I tried out every GT4 around Kyalami earlier today. And the Aston is, except for the Maserati, the car I had the most troubles with. Simply because, number one, its gearing is very different when compared to some of the other cars. And secondly, it doesn't look like it, but it is a very heavy car. So you're going to have some troubles in some of the corners today.
Yeah, as we've realised there, both the Aston Martins do a little bit of follow the leader. It's Notenboom and Bone.
I think that's an Alpine behind.
It's a Porsche behind.
Oh, it's a Porsche?
Yeah, it's a Porsche. Well. Then there's a Ginetta behind that. Using the new feature already.
Lovely. Lovely.
So drivers getting the nerves out of them for the first qualifying session of Season 2. Well, the first qualifying session of the GT4 Intercontinental Series. So if you're new or late to the stream, how it's going to work is it's going to be 5 rounds of turn up and drive. So you can pick any car you like essentially for each race. As Mr. Thomas elaborated to earlier, he asked the chat, what's the fastest car around Kyalami? What's the fastest car around Suzuka? And so on and so forth. But yeah, it's, we've got 5 rounds, including Spa, so the 4 DLC tracks, and it's all DLC cars. Have a little look at on board with Notenboom then. And when do you want to save the tour for, Julian? Who would you like to do it with? A bit later on in qualifying, or?
Let's see. I'm actually trying. Let's go for. We can actually do it now if you just switch over to Craig Sweeney in 16 right now on the broadcasting tool.
I have found him.
So he's driving around in the Ginetta. Lovely car, I like it. He's coming around the last corner here, going onto the start-finish straight, which is a pretty long one if you consider both of the halves. Because as he comes now across the line, here we see a slight kink to the right, which is literally called the kink, T1. And now we have a braking zone at about 100 meters going into Crowthorne. It's an uphill of hairpin. Now into the Juxkay sweep, which is these two S corners. Now a very short braking zone into Barbecue, my favorite corner name around here. This is T5. Now we have the back straight as it goes into a very long right-hander, which you in the light cars do not need to brake for. It's called Sunset, very beautiful name, very scenic. And now at 50 meters with a braking zone into T7 Clubhouse. Now a short straight before it goes into my personal fear of this race, the S's. Turn 8 and 9, I hate driving around these corners simply because they are very challenging, downhill S. As we get into T10, which is Leukop, hairpin, which is followed by a downhill straight. This small kink before was T11, which is the only corner around here without a designated name to it. Here we have T12 Mineshaft, which is very difficult to do in heavy cars, as we get into the Crocodiles, where the track gets about 3 kilometers wide for whatever reason. As we get into the most dangerous corner, Cheetah, with the inside sausage curb there, which Sweeney avoided very well. And 50 meters braking zone into Ingwer T16 as we go back onto the start-finish straight to cross the line.
It was a great lap from Sweeney, though, but it's P8, 3 seconds off the lead, and especially seeing as he is a new driver. Where he is a new driver this season. Absolutely fantastic lap, and like I said, perfectly chosen, by the way, Julian. By the way, you could not have picked a better one to pick for. You've been getting halfway round of that excellent track tour, by the way, and someone binning it would have kind of stitched us right up. Now, a lot of the drivers are going to find when they come into such a massive grid is going to be finding a space to qualify.
That's why the time today was increased to 30 minutes to hope that if someone gets a lap in they're happy with, they're just going to reset to the pits and they're just going to leave the space for the other ones. That is at least the hope. Let's see if everyone keeps to that. And we already see 51s coming around. Low 51s was 51.0 was what we saw in the practice session. We're probably going to increase that into the high 50s, which is nowhere near the alien times, which are high 48s, by the way. But we are not looking to see that, as we are a rookie league after all.
Yeah, I think we kind of set the benchmark at around a couple of seconds off alien times. Are essentially where our pros and our top tier drivers are at, essentially, which is, like I said, that falls into the benchmark right at the moment as well. And the first sort of hot laps, as it were, being a sort of a banker lap, what would be for me anyway. A 51.2 is an exceptional pace.
Yeah, it is a better pace than I have managed today. Well, I've managed a low 52 on with the Audi, which, by the way, GT4 Audi, if you haven't driven it, it is very good. It's a very stable car, not at all like the GT3 version, which wants to murder you at every possible second.
Yes, we're looking at Ollie Venner at the moment, because he's currently half a second up on his time as he's coming through the last sector. And it could be good enough to put him on pole, but he is being held up by a little bit of traffic as he catches the big old sausage. That's lost him all his time. Hohenlochter? I'm going to go.
Almost. Mike Hohenlochter.
I was close enough. He's half a second up as well. And like we've said, we're going to see a lot of traffic issues in this, but it is a casual championship, so drivers shouldn't be getting too angry. They just need to find a gap where they can. As I said, there's plenty of time, half an hour to qualify. There's plenty of time for our drivers to get at least one lap in, especially with only a 1 minute 50 sort of timing beam.
And here you just saw something I alluded to. The BMW, a very heavy car, had a problem there through mineshaft, because of course the weight of the car is carrying you to the outside, and if you hit the grass there, which is immediately, then you're not going to have a good time braking into the crocodiles.
Right, so Nike improves on his time. He goes up to P8 from P12. Bloomfield's up half a second at the moment, and Venner's also up as well. Looks like Bloomfield's going to cross the line. Bloomfield's had an issue with a Mercedes that is spinning behind him, so he's lost all his time. But Venner is up 8 tenths at the moment.
And he's got clean air in front of him. This is dangerous, because this is already looking to go into the high 50s as our first driver of the day.
Yeah, he could be pushing the limits here and being the first driver to cross it. We'll go shortly when we get through. Yeah, I can do that. Let's have a look at that one, where the gaps are to the cars in front.
As Ollie Venner is currently 1 second ahead of his time, this is looking to put him into the mid-50s.
It's fantastic, that. 1:57.21 then. I think you can essentially just park it there for the next 20 minutes and call it a day.
I'll throw my notes out of the window because I said I written up realistic times for today would be the 51s, already being smashed by Olivena. Perfect candidate for doing really well today, as seen by this lap.
Yeah, and I think there's a few contenders that can put him under pressure. And actually, as Ryan Ware joins him in the 150s as well and gets a 159.97, he would be the driver I was about to talk about, but he's gone into the pit lane. So there's going to be a few. You'll notice a few names here that are new to you, and we're going to run through those a little bit quickly. So Ryan Ware has been in the community essentially since the start, but is in quite a few communities, and has chosen to drive in one of those this season, and he's going to have a little dabble with the GT4s on a Tuesday night with us. And he's actually a really, really strong GT4 driver. I mean, every event we've done with them, he's always been essentially on the podium. If we go all the way back to the Zolder event, I remember him and was it him and Nottenboom at the Zolder event? That's really jumped back in a time machine.
I think that was even before my time.
I'll have a look while we're chatting, but it was him and another driver around Zolder, and that was the first sort of GT. That was the event we sort of done when GT4s released, and they had absolutely fantastic. And I mean, Ryan has taken like a duck to water. It was Nottenboom, so it was him and Nottenboom around Zolder, and that's the infamous back marker overtake, where on the start-finish line at Zolder, they caught a back marker coming out of the last corner of the last lap, and the back marker decided to give Ryan the tow instead of Reese the tow, and that actually gave Ryan the win by, I think it was 0.05 of a second, something like that, over the line, just due to the tow alone.
Now that you mention it, I remember that situation, and I just erased it from my mind because I know who the backmarker was.
Yeah, that's fine.
My teammate.
So there we go. So we've got Ryan, we've got Reese Nottenboom as well as a new driver. Benjamin, there we go. Horier? I know he's French, so...
Oriol, I would say.
Oh! In the Chevy. And the 31's caught Reese as well. Who's 31? Somewhere down the order. They're not in the top 30.
That was a spin by 31, and Reese Nottenboom's lap was destroyed by that right now.
So Barticus then was the driver that was spinning. But we'll go back through these new drivers. So Rob Bone as well is a new driver for this season. It's been very impressive in the evaluation races and looking to take part in Season 2. Ivan Lambert as well, new name I'm not too familiar with. I'll let you take the next one because it's that guy.
Well, first is Rodrigo Iversen, who's also a very strong driver. But then we have Dražen Trifunovic, again, our Bosnian mate.
And then a couple of other names I recognise from the evaluation races that took place last week is the next name that I'm not even going to try pronouncing. P12.
Mike Hohenlöchter.
I'm just going to call him by his first name, Mike. Oh, you just do such a better job than I do. I can go for the ones like Zach Morgan. I'd say Fakiti's a new driver, but actually I just saw the Twitch clip the other day of Fakiti actually went to P6 with the lap he's just done.
That's great. Showing by him.
Yeah, but I remember the Fakiti incident where I mean it was you and Gareth commentating, and Fakiti just disappeared into the sunset, I believe, as you disconnected from the server.
Yeah, on Zandvoort he went flying. That was a good time.
Yeah. So Martin Jones, the Maserati Master, is a new M Jones. There's two of them now. There's him and Matthew. And then who else have we got? We've got a few of the regular drivers there. And then we mentioned Craig Sweeney, who done our onboard lap with us. Julio Rodriguez. Don't recognise that name. Actually, do I recognise that name? I don't think Julio Rodriguez. He wasn't in the championship last season, was he?
Rodriguez? No, he wasn't. He's a new show.
So then we've got Matt Aikens, who's in the pits. Uric was Michael Lurker in the
Michael Lücke.
Okay, there we go. He's just going to slate my. I'm getting Lars back. If you're going to slate the pronunciation, he can't do a better job than I can. That's why.
Well, the problem is those are German names or names I'm pretty familiar with. So because there's also many Bosnian and former Yugoslavian people in Austria, so I get around.
Okay, then go for the next one. P36 then.
P36, that is Gintautas Batkus. We already know
Oh, no,
him.
not that
He's
one.
been a
Oh,
regular show.
he's just gone to 37, that's why. Torsten Jadka?
Torsten Jadke, almost, yeah.
Nearly there.
Great.
I can do this one. I can do John Hammersmith. He's in P40.
Well done.
I can do that one. And then last but not least, Christian. I want to say Vanzek. I want to say the W's a V.
That is, I would say that is correct, but I don't know where he's from right now.
There we go. So there are new drivers that are taking part in their first, I say, streamed races. But I know Vanzek was in Bathurst with us. The baptism of fire that was a 2.4-hour run Bathurst.
And yes, he's German, so Vanzek is correct.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's a point to DT right there. I mean, 30 billion points to Julian, but a point to DT for the correct pronunciation. So let's go through the old drivers now. The guys that you recognise from the... I keep going for the new names of the splits, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. But for the rookie splits from last season, we've got Ollie Venner, Ashley Bloomfield won rookie split. Was it you guys black? You were black, weren't you?
We were Friday red, you were black Saturday, and yellow pro.
Yeah, so
if you might just want to switch to Ben Keith right now, because he's 5/10 up on his time, which would put him in pole or in contention for pole.
Oh, fantastic. Let's jump on board. We'll have a little look at him. Oh, he's actually just given up his lap. I think he caught the sausage wrong. And he's... actually, we missed Ben of the new drivers. So Ben is a very quick new driver for us. He's not new to the ACC scene. He's just new to us. He's very, very quick and very, very knowledgeable. Let's go back now, and then we can actually have a little look for the last 10 minutes of the actual hot laps that they're putting in. So Ollie Venner, Ashley Bloomfield, we recognise him. Fakite, I've already mentioned, Twitch clip extraordinaire. Fakite. Shane Thomas, the champion of top split last season. So you said Rodrigo Everson was a new person, but I recognise that name.
Yeah, he's been showing in several
he's not a championship
rookie
driver,
races.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
No, he's been showing in several rookie races, and he's been showing incredible pace there, always challenging for a win.
Yeah, there we go. So we're counting him as a regular. Connell Daly is a regular as well. Martin Jones, that isn't right. So Robert Brining, P2. Is it P2 or P3 in the end? We haven't talked a lot about Rob. Obviously, I know there is a lot of love for him in the chat, but he has joined us for our Tuesday night GT4 Intercontinental Series. He finished in the top 3 and also got banned from the championship seasons. Then we got Mr. Colbeer himself, Colbeer Elbow, or Colbjorn Albu. Is in the pits at the moment. Dennis Becker was here with us last season. Victor Yanaba was also here. Florian Sachs, is he the one that's just binned it? Or the one that's... no, he's not the one that's just binned it. That was Car 21 that's just absolutely binned it into a wall. So he's driving an Alpine today. John Turner, the streamer himself. Oh, what a car that is. If that is his car as part of Jam Motorsport, what a car. That is livery of the split so far. That's the best one I've seen all night. There's nearly 50 drivers in here, and that takes all the bacon home of it.
I wouldn't call it best, but definitely most interesting.
Just catch a yawn there. Then we got Angelo Barato. Again, had a bit of a nightmare drive around Bathurst, but one of our regular drivers from... just seen... That's from me right off my loo. I've just seen Medsy's comment. Go back to it. John Turner looks like a fruit salad sweet, 100%. If you don't know what a fruit salad sweet, it's a sweet made by Bassett's, and the colour of the packet is essentially the livery. It tastes of just like a tropical fruity chew. Is probably the best way to describe it. Then we got Barato, Uric, they're drivers from last season. Tristan Vivers, he hasn't driven a championship season, I don't think, but he has driven a few of our community midweek races. Yasan Petrov, he was a championship racer. Mr. Stream Team himself, Gareth Ronda's driving on the Tuesday nights. So he's actually going to be doing a Wednesday night races. So how the stream's going to look is myself and Julian are going to do Tuesday nights, the GT4 Intercontinental Series with you. And then Gareth and Lars are going to be picking up some of our Wednesday night races as and when they do want them. So that's when you'll see Gareth. You'll also see myself and Gareth on a Sunday. So yeah, Gareth there. Norman Bruce was in the top split last season. Then the Lord and Saviour himself, Steve Worrell, driving the Porsche. It looks like the livery itself is very dirty, but actually it's the paint job it's been given. Gustav Gardstig, again P34 at the moment, driving the Audi for this first race. Yeah, Barticus basically. go on, Julian.
You can tell it as Barticus.
Yeah.
And yes, I call him Jin.
Jin Barticus is driving the Alpine for this. Erwin Scholtens drove the Lexus in GT3, just improving his time up to 35th, and he is again driving a 999 car, but it is the Aston Martin, so it's good to see he has not improved from fiddling around with the livery settings or read the new rulebook. Ollie Moss, he's been in a lot of community races. Race alongside him in a few of the other leagues that are out and about. He is down in 39th at the moment, driving the Audi. Glenn Clayton is the last of our returning drivers. So let's have a look then. Ben Call, actually, we missed it, has gone with a 150.1. You might as well throw your paperwork out the window.
I think we've got a ban candidate.
So you can't get banned in the midweek, but they might just be really enjoying. But so we've got Benku on. How are we saying his surname?
I think it's Keo.
So Ben Keo with a 1.
It's British. He's
it's
British.
Not that,
you should
he
know
is
this.
British, but that is not a British surname.
Fair enough.
Then we've got Ollie Venner in P2 then, who has improved to a 150.640. Actually, Reece Nottenboom is 8 tenths up at the moment, crossing the line. That's going to put him in second if it's valid.
I wasn't.
It wasn't valid. Oh, that's a shame. He was 8 tenths up on his time. Who else is making big gains at the moment? Not a lot of drivers are making massive gains. Connell Daly is actually. He's 3 tenths up at the moment as we head to the downhill section of the track. Becker's closer to the line. He's currently 3 tenths up with traffic though.
Oh, Mike Hornleucht is looking good right now. 6 tenths up.
And he's right behind Becker as well. This could put him into the top 10 then if Mike gets it across the line. And it does. He puts him into 9th.
It's a great showing by some of the new guys here. Of course, Benki up in first, but Dražen Trifunovic, who you are not going to like.
He's not allowed to be that high up the list just because I cannot pronounce his name.
Just try saying Trifunovic.
Trifunovic.
That is close enough.
That'll do.
That is good.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Hello to all you guys in the chat. Let us know if you're out there. Let us know if you're enjoying the stream, since we're now back 18 days since we last streamed, and there's 32 of you in here at the moment. So Trifunovic is P6. That was worse than the first one, but still close enough. So top 3 currently looks like Keo, Venat, Fakite. Let's see, Nottenboom is up again, but again has run into traffic.
Oh, but he's far enough, and wow, he's really taking the last corner horribly last time around.
He's gained 8 tenths in the last yeah.
And he's second now, 3,000th ahead of Olivena. No, because the last one by Olivena was invalid.
Oh, so yeah, he's 150 and instantly pulls over and returns to the pits. It's like, I don't want to do it anymore. That'll do.
That is what we were looking for actually. In increased qualifying today, we have a lot of people currently set in the pits who are already happy with their time, and fair play to them, leaving more space for the other people. I like that.
Yeah, when you know you're not going to be able to improve, you might as well just back it up. Just reset into race mode. because it's not actually turn 1, it's turn 2 that's going to be the problem. As if you were here for Julian's fantastic track map.
Turns into the chicane.
Oh,
Right.
I'll tell you what, I didn't turn that alert down. I followed your advice, Julian. Turned all the alerts down. Must have missed one because George Critical, thank you very much for the host. It just scared the living daylights out of me. Let's go and turn that one down a little bit. But I've actually missed a few. So, Julian, thank you very much for the sub. You're here. I can thank you in person. Rhonda, thank you very much for the sub. That's obviously Gareth. Mr. Grumpy CA as well. Thank you very much for the resubscription for 2 months. And again, thank you, George, for hosting the stream because it's just scared the living daylights out of me.
Would you please switch over to Shane Thomas right now? He's looking to improve and going into maybe the top 3.
Yeah, certainly. He's in P8 at the moment. The second off the leads. He was worried that he wasn't going to be able to get into the 150s in the pre-race sort of little chat we had, but he's found a half a second here, and it's put him up to P4. It's comfortably in the 150s, 150.6.
I think he's definitely found something if that was the case before.
Yeah, certainly. Let's just that down. There we go.
May I just quickly mention we are 4 minutes off the end of the qualifying, and look at all the manufacturers that are currently in the top. We've got 2 Astons, okay, and we've got a BMW, McLaren, KTM. There is another Aston, then AMG, KTM, Porsche. And basically, the BMW and the KTM, for example, these are completely opposite cars. BMW, powerhouse, heavy, trying to get all of the momentum in. KTM, small, nimble, very aerodynamic. I think this is BUP working right there. This is great showing.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's good to see that one manufacturer is not absolutely dominating, essentially hot lapping, because that's what you don't want from that's essentially what you don't want from a game development point of view. Is one car is supreme at doing one thing, and one car but is useless at doing other things. So yeah, we've got the fruit salad Ginetta coming across the line, 2 tenths up on his time. Looking to improve up. He does, up to 22nd is Mr. Turner. So there is space to join the next race. Essentially what happens is we have got a race tomorrow evening, and it's actually going to be our reverse grid test race, which is just going to be for you guys as drivers. It's a normal race. It's a GT3 event around Silverstone. They're 2 20-minute sprint races, but we are going to be testing reversing the grid. So we're yet to decide if it's going to be... Actually, Julius, because you're key in the feedback loop of ACCSS and love it. So what is your thoughts on reverse grid of the cars that finish the race versus reverse grid of all the cars in the lobby?
What do you mean by finishing the race? Right
So
now?
on track when they get the checkered flag, essentially.
Yeah.
So the ACCSS Americas guys, I believe they do reverse grid, and if Dale's floating around in the chat or stalking in the chat, let me know, because he runs ACCS America. I believe they do reverse grid of the entire, got everyone that's in the lobby. But for me, that would be if I'm having a bit of a crap race, I'll just retire and I'll be pole for race 2. Like,
I see what you mean now. Yeah, I would also say that people who do not finish or do not even try to finish should be punished for that. Also, if you just miss out a lap because of you have to go to repairs because of a mistake that could have been avoided. It's not very simple to say which is better and which is worse. There's definitely a few things that have to be considered, but I think yes, that the cars that do retire should not get an improved spot for the second race.
Yeah, we'll have a little look. Reverse of, okay, that makes sense. Reverse of original qualification. That makes more sense, and that actually gives me more time to prep as well, as Robert Brining goes in at P14. Yes, we're doing that then. Actually, Grumpy, if that works, and you've obviously driven in that, and if you again are a very useful member of the community, and always good with the feedback. If that works, then we'll just try that tomorrow. So essentially, it's going to be manual. So all drivers that are racing in the reverse grid race tomorrow will need to be in some sort of voice chat, as I'll be the one that's actually organising it. So I'll be organising the reverse grids. How it's going to work is you're all going to qualify as normal. Race 1 will happen, and then the driver that qualified last will have another qualifying session to go out and just set a timed lap. So they become essentially P1 for race 2. And that means that when he crosses the line, as Robert loses it there on the outside, as P1 crosses the line, the lights will go green. Because the issue we've had before is the driver that qualified P1 would be at the back of the grid, and the lights wouldn't actually turn green until he reached the start-finish line, essentially. So if
that's why you need the second qualification.
Yeah, that's why we're waiting for the second qualification to come through. Let's have a little look at who's on a lap. So Bloomfield is up, Albu is up, and they're both on laps. Yes, if you imagine going up, doing a reverse grid race on Spa, for example, and we didn't have the extra qualifying session in there, then essentially the race wouldn't go green until the driver in first would probably be up Radion already. Already, if it was a big grid. So, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, answer the original question was: is there space to race this week or next week? Or yes, there is. So have a look on Sim Racing GP. You can sign up to the Discord using the link that the bot has just kindly put in the chat. If you're not already go on.
I'll just use this opportunity to also mention that Sim Racing GP themselves are actually on Thursday doing a big grid test with over 100 entrants possible. There's currently around 90 people signed up. So if you want to fill up that grid and, well, push your PC to the maximum, basically, then this is your chance to do so.
Yes, it's 100 cars. 105, I think, is the entry list around Suzuka. So I saw some conversation earlier, though, of one of the other community Discords saying that we might need to change the weather settings, because it's going to pretty much blow up most of the drivers' PCs. But that's been fixed now. So, right, there we go then. So, qualifying is over. Ben Keogh is on pole. Reece Nottenboone in P2. Ollie Venner in P3. Shane Thomas in P4. Fakite in P5. Bloomfield P6. Ware P7. Everson P8. Trivonovic in P9. You can do 10th. I've learnt Trivonovic, so that'll do.
Mike Hohenlöchter.
He is in P10. I tell you what, I've learnt one. And George, like I've just seen in the chat, if you use simracing.gp on your phone, I actually do a lot of the admin side of things with my phone, and it actually works for me a lot easier than the mobile. The website does. The website does work as well, and it actually gives a lot clearer information. But if it's not working online, then feel free to try it on your phone. It's actually quite functional. They've done a really good job with there. A lot of these sort of companies, a lot of companies in general, have really good websites and put a lot of money into the web development side of things, but nothing into mobile development, and that's where all the information is nowadays. Is in the palm of our hands, essentially. So just waiting for the server to switch over. Let us know if you're new in the chat. There's been quite a few new followers as well this evening. Then feel free to get involved in the chat. Everyone is very, very friendly. And if you've got any questions, there's no such thing as a stupid question, as we like to say.
You are allowed to ask any question, just in some cases you will not get an answer. That is what I personally always say. But yeah, we will try to help every little inquiry you may have.
Rickon, I appreciate that you think I learnt Season 1 drivers' names, as I still spell your name different every time I type it. So sometimes it's got 2 I's, sometimes it's got 2 N's, sometimes it's got 2 K's. The races are 2 20-minute races. So we've got 2 20-minute races up and coming.
Yeah, we're going to see 2 sprint races today, which is totally different from what is usually run around Kyalami, because it is, of course, known for endurance racing normally, being in the Intercontinental GT Challenge, and now also starting to come, or is actually planned to start to come to the FIA World Endurance Championship. So we're going to see a lot of that in GT3 and similar cars in the future.
Really looking forward to it. Let's have a... What have we got? We've got 2.5 minutes. Let's get the nameplates up and do. We're returning with everyone's favourite feature. The virtual grid walk. I need a little theme tune for that. Little transition maybe. Add it to my to-do list. Get it past quality control, basically, Julian.
All right, I'll put it at position 135 then.
Yeah. To be fair, it's still less on my to-do list than there is on Anders for the broadcasting tool. So, right. So let's have. There's a third Mening. There's 3 of you.
Oh yes, please.
Right, okay, let's go for our virtual grid walk with 2 minutes left. Let's just turn down the sensitivity on the controller. And let's see how many names I absolutely slate. So
I'll leave this all to you today.
Thanks. So we've got Kyo on pole, then Nottenboom in P2. We've taken the speed of the controller down a little bit too much. Thomas is in third. Fenner is in third. Thomas is... We can tell I'm out of practice. Right. Let's start again. Let's start this again. I bigged it up so much and it's been nothing but awful. Right, okay. Here we go. Kyo then on pole. Nottenboom in P2. Venner in P4. P3. Thomas in P4. Fakite in P5. Bloomfield 6. Ware 7. Iverson in P4. Trivonovic in P9. Holland, yeah, P10. Lambert in P11, Horier in P12, Bone in P13, Brining in P14, Yanaba, Daly, Becker, Albu, Morgan, Jones are your top 20. Then we've got Rodriguez, Sweeney, John Turner in the fruit salad car, Martins, Sachs, Barato, Uric and Vivas are your top 30, I believe. Moss, Petrov, Ronda, Bruce, Worrell. Why is Worrell doing back here? I didn't even notice that. Atkins, Gardstig and Scholtens with Jadke, Barticus, Luca, Clayton, Hammersmith, and Van Zek taking up the rear of the grid. And I believe there's only maybe 5 or 6 absolutely butchered names in there. It's never going to be clean. We know that.
You can only try to improve.
This car concerns me being back here. What is Steve doing? How is he? What position's he even in?
Steve is in position, well, way back, 33.
33rd?
33 out of 41 starters because someone, it seems like, has left after the qualifying or some time in between.
Is that the guy with the weird name that's in the middle
John
of the...
Aherney.
Yeah, that was... Yeah. So our drivers then, pulling away, warming the tyres. Hopefully, actually, I'll tell you what.
If you're going to follow Ben Keogh now, I'm going to tell you right this instant what might be the problem in lap 1.
What's that?
Which is here, the Duke Sky sweep, this S at the beginning here.
Ollie Venner's just spun in the background. Whether that is a homage to his good friend Lewis Webb, we'll soon find out.
Lovely. But yeah, in turn 4, which is basically the second part of the S, there is an inside sausage curb. And if you are 3 cars wide there, then 1 car is definitely going to hit the sausage. And that is not going to end well.
Definitely not. And I also can't shift that name when I reconnect and disconnect and reconnect the broadcast tool. So that's just stuck there, and let's see how much of a pain in the backside that becomes.
It's going to sort itself out, I got the feeling.
So Venner has recovered. Not too sure if he's still proper pushing the back end out as he goes around the right hand.
Does he have any damage? Do you perhaps?
Let's have a little look at... It doesn't look like he's got much damage. Thank you very much for the 2-month subscription, Medzi. It doesn't look like he's got any damage, let's put it that way.
That is good. That is good.
So, how many wide is turn 2 going to be? That is the real question.
Kyalami is a very wide track, so there's definitely possibility to go 4 wide there. I would not advise to do so, however.
No.
In my infinite knowledge and wisdom I have acquired.
So we're going to start from... I'm going to go on... Well, not on board, but helicam of P10, because that's sort of... it will be the front bunch, I assume. Off the start. The cars start to join that Noah's Ark formation of 2 by 2. Go on, Medzi, you lead the chat. You get your orchestral baton out. Let's get some predictions. Who's going to be the top 3? We will be doing driver of the day at the end, which we'll explain to the new viewers during the race.
I'm going to say Notenboom, Ware, and Trifunovic.
I am going to go for Ware, Thomas, Nottenboom.
We've got another spinner. Who's that? Number 31, way back there. Ooh, that's looking like a penalty building up.
They're not catching up on the back now, especially not now they're 2 wide. And we're green then for the round 1 of the GT4 Intercontinental Series with ACCSprintSeries. ACCSprintSeries, should I say, sorry. And we're not... There's only 2 wide at the front. The back's a little bit more jammed up as Thomas looks for the inside of Venner into 1. I think Ware gets swamped a little bit off the start, and he's fallen back a few.
Well, the back is looking like a NASCAR grid, though, but everything is keeping safe right now.
There's a few 3-4 wides into turn 4. Nothing to... Actually, it's been surprisingly, the amount of cars we've got here, it's been surprisingly clean. Got a really good first couple of corners. Go into the long left hand of them. Just waiting for the timing screen to update. As Bloomfield's on the inside of Ware. And they managed to get... Oh, actually, he gives the inside back through the exit of the S's. So we head into the blind braking zone of the... Well, what corner was this called? There is a yellow flag. Then it looks like his Bloomfield has caught the inside of... Is it Ware, I believe he's caught? And that spun him all the way to the back of the grid now.
Can confirm Bloomfield is involved and John Turner is involved.
That is unfortunate there then. Burato then off onto the tarmac runoff area. Few cars catching the sausage then for the first lap.
It's always difficult if you're at the first lap trying to start the push, trying to get yourself in a good position, and then there's a sausage in the middle of the road, basically.
Yeah, it's literally there to surprise you.
It seems like Steve Worrell was also involved in some problem because he's currently fighting at the back of the pack.
We shouldn't still have Boom, and I don't know why that's still on. There we go. My PC's not blown up. Bonus. So let's have a little look who the big losers are then from the first lap. And that's going to be... what's Gareth doing? Gareth's all the way back here as well. So Gareth must have been involved with Sweeney. Van Zek is towards the back of the order. Barticus, Worrell, Bloomfield as well. Like I said, Bloomfield the big loser here. Qualified P6 is in P36 at the moment. Let's have a little look at the battle on track.
Let's give you the big winners then. Atkins making up 12 positions from 34 into 22. Ollie Moss making up 12 positions from 29 into 17. Looks like in the middle of the pack there has been a bunch of positions to be gained by some drivers.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm... Oh, as a car's just disappeared, and it's happened again for the second time. Let's just rejoin the server quickly, because the server disconnected me again. This is a great start to Season 2.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to tell you that Olivera is going for a dive bomb against Reese Notenboom right now in the Crocodiles. And he has made it stick. They have had a little touch, but they have made it through there without a problem in the end. But Reese Notenboom is not going to be happy about that, as he has already overtaken Olivera back in his Aston to keep the two Astons in front.
If you keep talking, we're on board with Venner, or looking at Venner at the moment. That's why I'm trying to fix why my computer died.
Alright, we've got Venner, who is currently being looked at by Shane Thomas in the McLaren from behind. They're going through the S's, through the Duke Sky sweep, as they're called, and through Barbecue, still lovely name. And we have basically a pack of 5 people here from 2nd all the way to 6th, trying to fight for the podium, trying to fight for the 2nd spot. And Ollie Venner, of course, he wants to get that 2nd spot away from Reese Notenboom, but he also has to care. Behind him, especially Shane Thomas, and behind that Ryan Ware, who is in the AMG, and I think he's just waiting for his moment to shine, for his moments to take a good position away from the people in front of him who will be fighting, because Ryan Ware, of course, as we have already mentioned, has the experience in the GT4s, and the AMG, the GT4 is a really good car, not only around here but in general. It is a bit on the heavy side, which gives problems in 3 corners in particular, in the long right-hander Sunset, and we've just been the Mineshaft, and now in the upcoming, what was it? Cheetah, the
yeah.
dangerous sausage curb corner.
I am now back. So I got rid of why for some reason Boom App was still playing in the background, and we've now got a pack, like we said here, and for this, like I said, like Julian there has explained, for the front sort of top 10. There's 2 sort of packs for him. Robert Bryan being the first one, and Ollie Venner being the cork in the bottle for the 2nd pack. But who's impressed you so far then, Julian? I
am impressed by everyone up to Trifunovic, especially by Trifunovic, being able to keep up with the likes of Reese Notenboom, Ryan Ware, Ben Keogh, who we know are very strong, and there's been a massive incident on the start-finish straight.
I can see that one of these are too far back. Who's involved in that? I'm still too far back. It was Carl Scholtens, wasn't it, that was involved?
Torsten Jatka was involved.
He's absolutely ruined. Let's see if the replay functionality is going to work for us. Oh, there's a car. 188 spun then. He's just absolutely it's just stuck in the middle of the road. 188 is Jadka. And he's just stuck completely in the middle of the road. And then those 2 cars trying to recover have just, caused more and more pile up in there. Let's go for the replay to get back.
It's not good if you find yourself facing the wrong direction on the racetrack. It is not good for anyone involved, and I think Scholtens here had, well, at least 1 major code brown in there.
So Bone getting the job done round the inside. I believe that was a KTM. That might have been for Kite then. It's got just shot right. Oh, it was an Audi. It's Moss. Moss has come out of nowhere. Moss was towards the back. He was 29th. He's now up to P12. Fantastic drive from him. And now we've got
the problem Moss is facing though is that he's still in that, well, in the big middle pack currently, in the follow-up pack, so he will not probably have the ability this race to get into a very good position. He can still make it into the top 10, which is also already a very good recovery from 29th.
Yeah, it's a fantastic drive. We see Becker there making a little mistake into 2. That's lit the eyes up of Rob Brining them. Lovely little lift as he goes round. I believe that was 6. Let's turn 6. And then we've got the long right-hander of 7, if I'm correct.
We've got a good fight at the front. Ryan Ware following Shane Thomas right now. And Trifunovic just watching it from behind, watching for his possibility to pounce on it.
Let's have a look at the rear view of Thomas then. You see the 2 cars battling as we see that Ware's trying to get the inside. And that, the little braking adjustment that Ware had to make really opened the door for Trifunovic to show his cards for this battle for 4th place.
A quick mention at the back, Ashley Bloomfield is not having a great time, just spun out again out of barbecue, and we have another person who just reset. Fikiti just had to reset to the pits.
Yeah, I think Fikiti. Oh, no,
the
it
damage.
wasn't Fikiti. Yeah, someone was. It was. Yeah, it wasn't Fikiti that was damaged. It was. Well, it may have reset. It was, Jadka was definitely returned to pit. Good to see that Sholton. I say good to see it. Sholton's may have caused another incident with the damage that he had. Let's have a little look at the. Oh, wrong camera. See, Dan knows what he's doing. There we go. That's the camera he wanted. The onboard cam then of Trifunovic trying to get the job done. You can tell we're a little bit out of practice here. Tell it's been 18 days since the last stream as I've forgotten which camera presets. As Thomas grabs a bit of dirt.
Olivena also caught a bit of dirt. They're starting to make mistakes. Well, it's only a 20-minute race and we're already halfway through the race. They are having troubles right now concentrating.
And that's brought Venner all the way back into the grips of Thomas. Now Thomas has got a carrot on a stick in front of him, being Ollie Venner. It's just going to spur him now. Instead of having to look in his rear view mirror the whole time at Ware, he's now got something to chase down in Venner, especially seeing as he's just seen Venner make that mistake off onto the grass.
Yeah, Venner's now really the cork in the bottle, as in front Ben Key of it being chased in Paris Notenboom. But this 4-pack battle right here is incredible showing by all of the drivers. Not getting too overly aggressive, I like that, but still trying to get a better run.
So Becker's lost a couple of positions here. He was in front of Brining. Brining's got the job done, so has Daly as well. So Becker's down in 11th, Daly in 10th, Brining in 9th. It says that Daly, I think Daly may have just got a nose in front over the timing beam. So let's have a little look further down the pack then.
Albu is just having a look on the inside of John Turner and all has...
It's gone again.
The Norwegian Racing Base showing ahead.
Having some major issues here because the stream has just disconnected. The server's just disconnected. We'll give it one more try, and if not, we'll have to go back to the drawing board this evening. Can you still hear me, Julian?
Yes, I can. Can the chat still hear us?
Yeah, let us know if you can still hear us in the chat. We're having a few technical difficulties this evening. I'm not too sure why. But we should be back. Why is this happening? This is not a good omen for the start of the team. Maybe, hopefully it's just this, my internet realising actually he does stream from time to time. As Rob Boone then puts his foot on the loud pedal and completely spins it into a wall. He needs to slam the brake on so he doesn't catch any more drivers, and that's going to knock him back down the order.
That is out of clubhouse, so that is not usually a corner you see someone spin.
That's a lot of damage on the front end as well. Dropped him all the way. Dropped him all the way down to P12, I believe. That's going to give another position to Daly, Brining, Becker, and I believe Moss as well has moved himself up. Moss now 1 position off of top 10. Gareth finds himself in the pits. I just noticed that as he messaged in the chat. Fakite's in the pits then. Ronda's in the pits. Barticus at the back of the order. Actually, Barticus has left. That's why I can't click on his name. Jadka recovering from that incident that was involved with Scholtens. Morgan has just left the pit lane by the looks of it. Van Zek and Scholtens. Does Scholtens pit to clear the damage? I don't think he did. That is Scholtens' car. It must have pitted to clear the damage then. And we jump further up the order. Bloomfield having 2 incidents in that race. He's got about a 4-second gap to get onto the back of Uric then. Worrell in 30th. He's chasing down Sweeney for 29th.
Yeah, Worrell needs also to improve upon his qualifying time. He hasn't shown his best on Saturday's session. We sadly know that he is not the best of the Sunday drivers out there, but he is looking to improve, and hopefully he can take this as a first step, having improved by 3 positions from the start.
A mistake there from Sweeney, though, has opened the door for Worrell. Have a look at the inside into 6, I believe. He's got the job done then. He's going to be hang out to dry on the outside, though, through the sweeping right-hander. But he's got that job nice and clean through up to 29th. Great overtake there from Steve. Let's have a little look higher up the order. We've got Travonovic has got the job done on Ware, actually. He's up to 5th.
Ooh, we've got the battle for the lead, though. Reese Notenboom has caught up to Ben Kiev, who, it seems, is not really on pace right now. Well, both of them are on pace, but Reese Notenboom seems to have just that bit more currently going on for him.
I think it looks like Ben Keogh has maybe hit the sausage on exit of Cheetah, and that's where he's lost all his time. He's got a little bit of a wobble to him, where he may be a little bit nervous now into the last 5 minutes of race number 1.
May not only be nervousness, because they are still lapping in the low to mid 50s usually. It's just, I think the Reese Notenboom, he's liking that he has someone to chase, and he is advantage of that as they're starting to catch up to the first back marker.
Yeah, so Van Zek's in front of them 3 seconds. Oh, actually, Van Zek spun. That's got that back marker out of the way as he's caught the entrance of the S's.
It is a very dangerous corner. I can only repeat that. The S's are very challenging on here.
Yeah, definitely. And looks as though Notenboom is loving the challenge of Keogh in front of him. He wants the win. So we head down into my favourite corner name, which is the Crocodiles.
And here, since it is a very wide corner, but still there's only one real possible line through there, except for when you're trying to overtake. But Cheetah, though, being the challenge for everyone, are you going to get a bit more aggressive there? Are you going to try to go a bit more aggressive there? These two are currently looking on point through there, I have to say, as they're now on the back straight, and Reese Notenboom is picking up great.
It's a great toe. He's looking for the inside.
Toe there.
He's 2 tenths quicker than him in through the last lap. And that's just I agree. Even more encouraging. It's like he's now got to a point for Notenboom where Keogh is potentially just holding him up, and he just needs to get. There's not only probably 2 or 3, maybe even 2 laps left of today's race number 1. He just needs to have a look at the opportunity. He needs to be very aggressive, and probably the next overtaking opportunity is going to be through the very, very lethal S's.
Well, not through the S's, but if he's going to get a good line through the S's, then he may be able to get the uphill braking zone into Luke upright to the hairpin.
Oh, he looks like he's had a very loose line as Notenboom, and that's going to open the gap up to Kyo, and I think the quality that these drivers have got, I think that may be the opportunity gone. Unless Kyo looks to make, or to say looks to make a mistake, but makes a mistake. I think that might be opportunity gone for Nottenboom then. He may just have to, he won't want to settle for second place, but he's now, Kyo's opened the gap over to around just nearly 1 second. What else have we got on track?
The next fight would be Robert Brining against Conal Daly. Currently also going through the S's, and Conal Daly having gotten a good run out of the S's, now looking up into Lukop.
Oh, as Robert Brining runs, really hangs it all the way out to dry round the... what corner is that one? It's at the top of the mountain, isn't it? Or top of the hill.
That is Lukop. Yeah, that is a very dangerous uphill braking zone, and it seems like he just missed it a bit.
Yes, he's given the position to Daly, but not only Daly, but Becker's also up to P9 as well. As Van Zek catches, I don't know what he catches, but he's just put himself in another wall. That may be recovering from previous damage. It looks like Moss is going to get past, oh, Iverson's going to get past Moss as well.
Oh, Van Zek is not having a good day today, but we have a second race for that, so he can try again with a fresh start.
Yeah, certainly, Bartkus has picked up a drive-through penalty as well. Leaders on the last lap. Let's have a little look how they're getting on. And actually, Nottenboom's got the gap down to 3 tenths, and this is do or die time.
Nottenboom is really pushing it right now. You see how late he braked there into Clubhouse.
Essentially, this is last chance saloon for Nottenboom. Then he needs to get the job done on this lap, or it's going to have to wait till race number 2.
Ooh, but Kiev taking a great line through Lukop. This is not usually a very good spot for trying to dive.
Oh, and the back, that back marker was in the way of Nottenboom. That's game over, essentially.
That was Scholten's, yeah.
Unless Kyo hits the sausage on the exit of Cheetah, that is going to be gone.
I think Kiev has the expertise to not do something so risky now that he has basically half a second ahead. But Nottenboom tries it, but he cannot get ahead, and this is it for Kiev. Kiev has won this race. Great showing by him today.
Yeah, great showing by Kyo. Then so Kyo takes the win. Nottenboom into second. Let's have a little look further down the order then. As Venner, Thomas Trivonovic, Holland, yeah, that name. Yeah, Ryan Ware is in 7th then. Not too sure how he's fallen off as he was up there. He might have had a little incident on the last lap. We get our votes in for driver of the day as we move on. Daly in 8th, Brining in 9th, and Becker in 10th. So let's go for driver of the day as we have a little look back further down the battle. So for driver of the day, how it works is you vote in the chat using P1 all the way up to P10. So if you want to vote for Ben Kyo, it's P1. Reese Nottenboom is P2. Ollie Venner is P3. Shane Thomas is P4. Drazan Trivonovic is P5. Mike yeah, that one is in P6. Ryan Ware in P7. Conal Daly in P8. Robert Brining in P9. And Dennis Becker then is in P10. So that's how you vote for driver of the day. Enter those numbers in the chat. And we're going to go over to the post-race podium. What was your thoughts on the first race? So neither of our predictions came true.
Neither of our predictions came true, but I have to say it was a really great showing. My driver of the day vote today goes to Dražen Trifunovic. Being able to keep in the first, basically in the first pack of 5 people, which is incredible showing for basically a newcomer to this series, a person we have not seen before. And yeah, I really like this. There have been a few too many incidents for my liking, but other than that, it was great racing all over.
Yeah, it's great, really great stuff. I mean, the driver that impressed me the most would probably be the same as yours, Trivonovic, managing to stick in that front group and literally put some pressure on some of the other drivers. It's an absolute great show, especially in their first race. I don't even recognise him from the evaluation races, so for me, it's the first time I've actually seen him on track. Disappointment of the race, my internet connection or my computer, one or the other. One of them's burning down. And yeah, so sorry for that we had 2 disconnects in that race, but I managed to get us back in as quickly as we can. So the driver of the day for race number 1 then is our race winner, Ben Keogh. Great showing from him. Composure from start to finish, especially when Reese was putting him under so much pressure from start to finish. So Ben Keogh then is going to be driver of the day for race number 1. Race number 2, we're just waiting now. All the drivers just returned to the pits. So we're just waiting for the server just to kick over to race number 2. I've seen a couple of Twitch clips which I love to see. Like I said, we have had to get rid of Boom Replay because that is also a computer killer for me at the moment. So we've had to get rid of that. So it's all going to have to rely on Twitch clips. So you can go back and have a look at the VOD if you've missed anything or seen anything that you want to catch up with. We'll catch up with some of the... Talking of catching up, we'll go through some of the... subscribers during the race. So Medzi, thank you very much for 2 months. Glove Pop, thank you very much for 2 months. And Webby LR, thank you very much for 2 months. Breathe. Race 1 is over, Julian. And your thoughts on the whole process of everyone, including Travonovic, but your thoughts of the whole race.
Yeah, it was. I'm kind of at a loss for word right now because there was actually battles all over the place. We of course couldn't get to all of the battles today because there were several battles all of the time, all over the place. And this is just what this big kind of a grid does to it. I was especially impressed that in the beginning there were only, out of almost 50 people, there was only 3 different packs of drivers. One front pack, one massive middle pack, and well, sadly the few back runners who didn't have that great of a start. But that was a great showing that these cars and these drivers are all pretty competitive to each other, and there's going to be a lot to fight for in the race 2 now for people to make up some mistakes they may have done in race 1.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I said, the packs were split evenly across the field. And like I said, some of the drivers that stuck out to me are the ones with some great recovery drives from some poor qualifying. We've got who have we got in that comes to mind? Becker had a great drive. Moss had a great drive. I think Worrell had a great drive, and there was a couple of others in there as well that had really good recoveries from a quite questionable qualifying session.
Yeah, especially Ollie Moss. I think he was the one who made up the most positions, as he's also in the chat. Hello, Mossy. Great show today. You impressed us all.
Yeah, great drive from him as well. So get your head down, get into race number 2. And we're going to just pop over there very shortly. And we're going to go for the grid order. And we're going to go for the virtual grid walk. Let's pop back over then to race number 2. And we've prepared it a little bit earlier this time, even though I did drop my controller cable and also forgot I was on webcam and I bent down to pick it up. So, like I said, the internet connection is not the only thing that's out of practice at the moment. My brain has not quite kicked back into Season 2 gear, but it will be here for Sunday and ready to go. So, Ben Keogh then is your pole sitter for race 2. Nottenboom is P2, Venner P3, Thomas P4, Vakite P5, Bloomfield P6, Ware P7, Iverson P8, Travonovic P9, Holenlochter is P10, Lambert, Horier, Bone, Brining, Yanapa, Daly, Becker, Alboot, Morgan, Jones then are your top 20. Let's go let the camera catch up to them. Then we've got Rodriguez, Sweeney, Turner, Martins, Sachs, Barato, Uric and Vivers making up your top 30. And then, Moss and Petrov make up your top 30 as well. And we've got Ronda, Bruce, Atkins, Worrell, Gardstig, Scholtens, Jadka, those two hoping to avoid each other on the start-finish line in race number 2. Then we've got someone that's disconnected. Then we've got Lurker, Clayton, Hammersmith, Van Zek, Bartkus will be the driver that disconnected in race 1 as he finds himself at the back of the grid for race number 2. See, told you, slowly warming up, Julian. We got through that a lot easier than we got through the first virtual grid walk.
Yeah, valid effort there on Hohenlichter.
Yeah, I had a crack at it. If the flow's there, it just sort of rolls. When I have to stop and think, and I have to kick the brain, well, what's left of the brain into gear, that's when we start to get some issues. So we are at 6 p.m. for race number 2. We're not going to quite get to sundown. But it's nice. It's enough to get the automatic lights on the cars.
I might just give you some very inside information right now, which I'm seeing in the chat. Steve Worrell has just announced, if the test tomorrow with the reverse grid goes well, why not include it in future races?
There we go then, see? So, if we get a nice solid test tomorrow, then we can run that for future events, which is good to see. We love to keep you guys on your toes.
I would say in this case it would definitely be a good way to give a chance to these drivers who had a bad start. Give them the chance for a good start for once, and well, yeah. As I said in the beginning, it's going to naturally even out because of the natural pace of the drivers. But yeah, it definitely lending for some equality.
Yeah, definitely. I think the really important thing is going to be, like I said, that I noticed it in some of the races I do, that when you get stuck in a pack, that you may not be good at hot lapping. Like I hate qualifying because I'm not very good at it. Hate's a strong word, but I'm not very good at it. That's why I don't enjoy it. So I tend to find myself quite bad. But when it gets to race pace, I can be quite consistent. And just find myself stuck in a pack of cars that I'm faster than, but there's no overtaking opportunities. So a reverse grid appeals to me quite a lot to see. Give other drivers opportunities to win. And if you are naturally fast, you're going to get through that grid anyway. And enjoy a lot of battles and a lot of overtaking opportunities. So drivers...
Yeah. Cars who usually start at the back. Some of these drivers have the mentality they need to catch up in the first couple of laps as soon as possible. They need to be there as soon as possible. So they're going to push their cars. They're going to push to the limit of their skills, and they're going to overdo it. Maybe spinning out once or twice. We saw that in race 1, and if they had the chance to start at the front for once, I think that could even calm him down a bit, give him a bit of good mentality. Hey, I'm in a good position here. Let's just try and make the most out of this. Let's keep it safe.
I mean, definitely. I think that mentality of just getting that stuff done is definitely going to creep. It's definitely going to creep in, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's going to be accidents in the first couple of reverse races because, like you said, you're going to have fast drivers pushing from the back. And slow drivers at the front. Like, don't get me wrong, that is going to happen. But I think the more the drivers get used to it, the better they'll all be at it as we start to form up the Noah's Ark formation.
Yeah, but everything is just a learning. It's just a learning curve. Some of them are steeper, some of them are not as steep. This is just something you have to do once or twice. Then you're in it. Then you're not going to make any mistakes anymore. And we are here to learn. Every one of us is here to learn. So, definitely a great opportunity to learn something new there.
It looks like Hammersmith forgot to press drive as he is in the pit lane. As we join round for race number 2 then.
Green light, green light.
ACCSprintSeries. Looks like Ben Keogh may have... That's the exasperation of a disconnect at the start of a race. Worst possible time for it to happen. Talk me through it.
I'll lead you through it. Ben Keogh is still in the lead in front of Notenboom. Olivander is currently attacking into second place, dragging Notenboom wide, further back in the field. We've got a few side-by-side actions. Nobody's hitting the dangerous sausage curb, though. It seems like everyone has gotten through the first few turns. Well, again, as John Turner very late on the brakes, manages to do a couple of spins on top of... what was it? Barbecue.
Yeah, so it looks like Jadka's involved. Who is that? Ollie Moss is involved as well, I think, which would be unfortunate for him. There's quite a few drivers there involved in that one.
Artkus, Vanzek, Yatke. Oh, this is bad. He's again involved in a crash this time. Not lucky.
There's another spinner a bit further up as well. I'll just let the
number
orders.
90. Dennis Becker
has caught the rear end of, I believe that might have been Ronda. No, it wasn't. Worrell was caught the rear end of someone. I'm not too sure who it was.
That was Petrov.
Oh, and he is very generously waiting for that car to recover. So let's have a look, see how we're doing as we head into Cheetah for the first time. Which will be the next corner, because I'm a little bit ahead of myself. Very sorry this evening about the quality of stream. My internet provider will have a very strong worded letter sent to them tomorrow morning. As Thomas is really loose, or really wide actually, out of the last corner, and that's opened the door for Fakite and Bloomfield to look into it.
The thing about that corner though is the runoff. You can take it very widely. It is basically the only space on this track where you might get a track penalty warning. So it's very inclusive. It's very simple to not get a drive through for track penalties around here. So risking it once or twice won't hurt. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, like, just the outrun there, like you said, it's going to catch him off a few times, but you can definitely use it. But as we saw there, though, it can be a bit of a problem, because that's opened the door for Kite to get involved, and that just sort of dragged Bloomfield round as Bloomfield runs wide in the sweeping right-hander.
I would like to see Fakiti do well here, because he is, well, Austrian KTM, lovely.
Yeah, having a really good drive here, definitely putting Thomas under pressure. And we see the leaders have broken off in their little group. Well, actually, Ben Keogh is already off to the races, and it's Venner and Nottenboom battling for second and third. And then we've got this pack of 3 cars as Bloomfield catches the inside of Thomas then. And that pushes Fakite out wide as well. And that's opened the door for this whole pack of cars to just swarm them both. And it looks like Bloomfield's got really loose then with another Aston Martin. And that looks like number 73, which was Lambert. And that sent the whole field spinning there. That's caught a lot of drivers up there. So Bloomfield was involved in that, I believe. Lambert was involved.
Robert Brining just reset to the pits.
Oh, so he was involved as well then. And there's another Alpine there. Is that an Alpine off to the side of the road? Oh, that's Fakite as well. Fakite's lost it going into the Crocodiles. And that's going to send him tumbling down the floor. And then, Lambert's had another mare. I think that must be from damage from the incident involving Bloomfield. Let's have a little look, see what the drivers. Lambert very kindly, or very sensibly even, fields into the pits.
There's a KTM backwards on the last turn corner.
Oh, really? That's a lot further down the order there. Is that Fakite?
No, it's not Fakite. It's Julio Rodriguez.
Oh, that's unfortunate for him then. So, Keogh is in first place then. Venner's got the job done on Nottenboom in all the confusion during the middle of the pack. And Horier's found himself actually in P5. So Horier, Iverson, Hollenlochter and Bone have all been like the big winners of this incident. As Ware finds himself running, a lot of drivers are using the runoff on the exit of turn 8. And Ware was just in there himself. So that's going to even inspire the Chevrolet Camaro of Horier to catch up to the rear end of Ware. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is still a big gap. As the KTM of Iverson looks in the inside.
I have alluded to this last race. Ooh, very slidey there by the Camaro, by Horier. This is a very good dive bombing spot, and people seem to abuse it this time around.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's like I said, a lot of these drivers are still ours. I think Horier was gonna. Hollenlochter. Wait, how's that works? Horier's fallen off the face of the earth. I think he might have got a tap up the rear end from the KTM of Iverson. It's put him down into 7th place then.
No, it was just Horier running a bit wide out of Louis Cup, out of the hairpin, kind of a bit of the grass, and that gave Hollenlochter the opportunity to overtake easily on the straight down the hill.
See, I think that the Horrier may not have increased his tyre pressures in between the race 1 and race 2. Because like I said, Horrier's absolutely binned it then in turn 2. That might be the end of his race then. He is falling down the order. And I half expect that what has happened is Horrier hasn't looked at Bloomfield going for an overtake on the grass on the outside of 6, sorry.
That was barbecue 5.
Yeah, sorry. But a lot of these drivers, I don't think they've looked at their tyre pressures. As Bloomfield shoves it up the inside, the sweeping right hander on Boone and makes the position up to 7th then.
I will be honest though, if it's only about tyre pressures, I don't believe it would be this problematic. Because personally, I never adjust tyre pressures in between sessions.
Oh. Fair enough then. That Chevrolet really looks like it's struggling in this race. Just seen it in the back of the camera we're in now as Thomas looks to the up to the back of as Boone runs wide then. So Boone's run wide. That's opened the door for Bloomfield and Thomas to resume their battle from the lap before. And this is the battle on track really. I mean, there's a bit of a pack forming behind.
Leaving space there. That is lovely by Shane Thomas, being aware of his surrounding. And they're side by side going onto the sausage cup. This is dangerous.
Oh, Bone's caught it. I think Bone caught the sausage curb, and that's opened the door for the Porsche of Morgan to say thank you very much. And actually, the Chevrolet of Horrier is thinking, I'll have a bit of that too. And he's on the inside then.
This is now the strong part of the Chevrolet. It is a powerhouse, so it loves the straights. It loves everything that goes in not a corner, because it is a very heavy car that has problems keeping up its momentum as compared to lighter cars.
And do you know who's crept onto the back of this? It's Mr. Colbeer Elbow himself. He's crept onto the back of this little train of 5 cars that's from Thomas backwards. So this is the battle for P8 effectively on screen.
Yeah, both Albu and Jones had a great start. Jones coming from 20th now into 12th after overtaking Albu, and Albu from 18th into 13th.
Let's have a jump on board with Jones then. Give him a little bit of camera time. See how he controls it. I was just about to see how he controls it through the S's. As I say that, he has a really loose moment then. That's given Albu the opportunity to come in front then in that KTM of his.
And the Norwegian Racing Beige, which inspires boredom in everyone who looks at it.
It distracted me so much, I've just cycled through the Delta 3 times just to get to the one I wanted to get to. I believe that's Bone in front. Oh, actually, it might be Morgan in front that's just caught the dirt. Spat that up into the drivers behind. So Jones having a fantastic drive in this Maserati. I cannot commend him enough for picking that car for what would possibly be his first, essentially, championship race. It does catch the sausage on the exit of Cheetah.
Albu almost running into the back there of the Camaro of Oreo.
And that Camaro is just, like I said, loving the straight lines, but then he just gets to the corners and just has to settle to where he is.
Oh, there's been an incident at Cheetah 61. That is Bruce. Bruce having caught the inside of the sausage probably.
There he is.
Oh, a bit of a dodgy rejoin there.
Yeah, a little bit, and that's going to. This is where these are the back markers from the incident off the start of the race. So Urix through, Lurker's catching Clayton. Worrell Worrell was waiting for Petrov, wasn't he, for in that incident? Because they're a further 30 seconds off the back of this pack, and it's happening again. I'm afraid I've just been disconnected from the server. So talk me through it. We'll give it one more disconnect before we call it a night, I think, because it's getting very, very frustrating and also very, very tedious for you guys watching at home. It's not the service you would expect. But I do not know what is happening with my internet connection today.
Well, there's still a lovely battle going on for, what is it, 8th position? No, Shane Thomas is starting to pull away from the back. Zach Morgan is being followed by Rob Brown for the 9th position as they come through Lucas, which is the hairpin as they come down onto the straight, going down the hill. But behind that, there's a massive pack. Angelo Barato following in front of Connell Daly and Trifunovic, being very close together, going almost 3 wide there through the hairpin. Trifunovic looking up Connell Daly's... What is that? Is that a Camaro, I believe? As they are going side by side here through the crocodiles, slipping back into together before Cheetah, though, so they do not endanger themselves on the sausage curb.
So we are back on visual as well now. So, like I said, I assume Venom must have had an issue then, because he's fallen from 2nd to 17th. May have missed that one, so unfortunate for that. Like I said, this isn't... We'll have a look this evening at why this is happening so frequently, and we'll try and fix this over the next couple of days, hopefully ready to bring you the stream on Sunday. So let's have a little look at the running order then. So Keo, are you still there, Julian?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, sorry, I thought I lost you as well. So let's have a little look at the order then. So Keo is in first, Nottenboom is in second, Ware is in third. Iverson finds himself as the highest placed KTM, and he is in fourth. And Holland Lochter is in fifth, followed by Mr. Crashley Bloomfield himself in sixth, with Shane Thomas behind him in seventh. Zach Morgan, great drive from him, qualified P19, he's actually finds himself in P8. Being swamped from behind by Bone and Horrier. Horrier's got the inside of Bone then as we come back down the hill.
Bone ran deep there on the hairpin of Luke.
Yeah, really deep. But actually the Chevrolet's caught the inside curve as well, and that's just opened the door back up for that Porsche to get through.
That was a very early break there by Horio. I have to say that even for the Camaro, which is pretty heavy and you need to brake a bit earlier.
Oh, he has eaten the sausage in Cheetah, and that has sent him absolutely flying sky high. Sorry, Julian, to cut you off.
Yeah, I mean, I think Horio prefers that line now, because over the last few laps, he's always been taking the sausage and he's always saved it. Getting a bit of air time in.
So what you're saying is Horrier loves taking the sausage? That is the line you're going to go for, yeah?
That is your interpretation of my line. And as Albu is getting followed closely by Martin Jones right there for 11th place, Norwegian Racing Beige, fighting for the top 10 still.
I actually see Ryan Ware finds himself on the podium at the moment, P3.
Oh, and my favourite has spun. He's probably hit the curb in the Yukskai sweep. Dražen Trifunovic now finds himself in 18th, 19th, 20th.
He's falling down the order. Yeah, I think that's the battle for... that's 21st. The damage is on the inside of his car. It's down into 21st, then battling with... the boys of Sachs and Ronda. Great drive from Ronda, by the way. He's up to P19. Absolutely fantastic drive from him. Qualified P30. Looks like him and Ollie Moss and Fivers have been playing... have been working together quite a lot.
That is a crash. 444. Is that our leading group? That is Rodrigo Iverson in P4, having crashed out there with... Who's that in the AMG? Ryan?
I don't know. That's not Ryan Ware in the AMG. Let's have a little look back. We'll jump back 30 seconds. That might be a back marker, you know. There is an AMG there. So the KTM's lost it, and he's... Oh, it's a Ginetta, I believe. Number 25. Who's 25? That is a back marker of Hammersmith then. So he's gone around the outside of Hammersmith, and he's absolutely just torn into each other. And that's put him in the battle with the Chevrolet and the KTM of Albu then. That's where he finds himself, down in 13th. He's lost a couple of positions then, one as well to Sweeney. So he's in 13th at the moment. There's another yellow flag as well further back.
That's number 505. Who is that? That's Connell Daly, one of our regulars.
Oh, that's really unfortunate for him. He had a great race in race number won. So he thoroughly enjoyed it. Venner's in the pits as well, so I assume he was involved.
And I think Florian Sachs was also involved because a second ago he was fighting for 20th place.
He's falling down the order as well then. So there
Florian Sachs, by the way, today showing that Austrians can drive, but do not always drive Austrian cars, which is a damn shame.
See, he needs to be an Austrian driving an Austrian, an Austrian driving an Austrian car, which was, who was that? There was someone, wasn't there? I've lost.
Is it tonight? No, there's not tonight.
Oh, sorry, I've missed that. Just seeing Dr. Jones's comment. He's spending an evening gaining some wife coin, and he thought he was surprised when he saw his double ganger in P12. Hey, but this double ganger knows what he's doing. He's driving the Maserati and he's holding it very well together in a grid of 40 cars. He finds himself in P11, chasing down Rob Bone for P10 then.
The closest battle is still, though, Albu being closely followed by Bone, right in front of that, as Bone is catching up on the start-finish straight. Bone is really showing what the Porsche can do, especially in the slipstream. The KTM, of course, being the most aerodynamic car on the field today, cutting through the air, basically allowing Bone to easily do the overtake into T2, Crowthorne, and keep it easily in front there.
Yeah, it's a great drive now, and that's just literally put Albo back into the grasp of Martin Jones. And the front field, though, we spent a lot of time there in the race number 1, and they've just completely disappeared after the races. Ben Keogh's got a 5.5 second gap to Nottenboom, who's got a 7 or 8 second gap nearly to Ware, who's then again another 7 seconds ahead of Holland Lochter. So the front field are completely separated, probably due to the large amount of incidents, but Horier is chasing down that Porsche of Morgan.
If you want to go down real quick to Gareth Ronda versus Victor Janeba, currently is almost side by side into T6 Sunset. They're really fighting right now for that 19th position on track.
There's only a couple of laps left then. And actually, I had the pleasure of driving the BMW round. Actually, on the last lap now, I had the pleasure of driving the BMW round here for some of the intro videos and some of the other videos we've got lined up for future features. And it felt really, really good. As actually, Janeba looks for the outside line. Look for the old whoop-de-wop then on Gareth Ronda, but Gareth closes the door for that one.
Yeah, this move was never going to work. The Ginetta is just too agile, but this move may work into the Crocodiles. But sadly, the BMW didn't manage to keep the speed up there to go for a try. So
last lap then for our leader, Ben Keogh. Let's jump on board with him. He rounds it out, going past some back markers. Nice, comfortable drive in this one. Actually, I think Nottenboom's had a bit of a... Well, Nottenboom's very loose now. I think he's come to the end of his tyres. Essentially,
I don't think it's the end of his tyres. It may just be the end of the concentration, because
it was a really weird pedal press right there. Like, as in a really, really weird, like. Well, he might even have a puncture, because it's like. His pedal applications seem really like the.
Oh, and that is a spin.
So I think there's got to be an issue there with Reese's car, and that's going to open the door for Ryan Ware then. Can he secure his shoulder all over again? As Ryan Ware is looking on the inside then of Nottenboom, and he gets the job done then as we come into the Crocodile.
I'm not seeing a puncture on Nottenboom. Maybe that's just Italian game design, but...
Yeah, you won't be able to see the tyres of the car from... Like, you can see the tyre screen, but they won't actually have the tyre levels, if that makes sense.
Leader has finished the race.
So Ben Keogh then wins race number 2. Back-to-back winner from him and Ryan Ware. Oh, there's a punt. There's a punt from Nottenboom. He's done the right thing there and slammed the brakes on to let Ryan Ware take P2. That's a great thing there from Nottenboom.
Yeah, it is a commendable effort, and luckily for them both, it was quickly resolved because Hohenleuchter was right behind there and possibly looking for...
Do you know what we've missed? We've missed Bloomfield
Whatever.
through a loud pedal moment because he's gone down from 6th to P11. So Bloomfield's had an issue in the last lap as well.
I would like to say that as classic Crashley, but he hasn't shown to that in the last season.
Yeah, very much so. So the driver of the day vote is open now, so you can get that going for race number 2. The last few cars cross the line then. And John Turner actually gets past Yanaba then to secure P20 over the line. So for driver of the day in the chat, it's going to be Ben Keogh for P1. P2 is going to be Ryan Ware. P3 is going to be Reese Nottenboom. P4 is going to be Mike Hollenlochter. P5 is going to be Shane Thomas. P6 Benjamin Hourier. P7 Rob Bone. P8 Zach Morgan. P9 Corbion Albu. P10 Martin Jones then in the Maserati. So get your votes for driver of the day in the chat.
Before we talk about the drivers of the day, there was still a bit of action going on.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Glenn Clayton in the back here spun, and well, there's also been a punt, which luckily has been straightened by another car being on the outside 3 wide through the last turn there.
Oh, that's really unfortunate there. Sorry about that. We jumped over to the podium screen because, unfortunately, it's, like driving, streaming is a mentality thing, and my internet has put me on the edge this evening. Has massively put me on the edge this evening. So, do apologise for missing that last little bit of action. So it's going to be Ryan Ware in P2. Let's get your votes for driver of the day in.
So, my driver of the day, if I may just mention it,
Yep.
it is Mike Hohenleuchter in P4. He managed to get up there from P10. He managed to hold it for the entire race. Also, valid votes would be for P6. 6 through 9, actually, because there would be Horio managing from 12th to 6th, Rob Bound from 13th to 7th, Morgan from 19th to 8th, and Albu from 18th to 9th. Lovely showing by those guys.
Yeah, it's a great showing from all of those. So votes for driver of the day in the chat now. We've got a couple more minutes just to get that bit over and done with. And yeah, then we can go from there. So like I said, Ben Keogh for P1, Ryan Ware for P2, Reese Nottenboom for P3, Hollenlochter for P4, Thomas for P5, Hourier for P6, Bone for P7, Morgan for P8, Albu for P9, and Jones for P10. Yes, so I've just seen shut up at the clips. So put them in instant replays. I'm about to change. So if you put the clips in instant replays, Medzi, I'm about to change the title of that to Twitch clips. So let's get our driver of the day in. Now it's a tie. It is a tie between P9 and P10, which is Colbjorn Albu and Martin Jones. And I think, as Julian has had his say with Hollenlochter, that I'm going to choose the driver of the day, and I am going to give it to P10, which is Martin Jones, for mastering the Maserati through the very tight and technical Kyalami. So well done to Martin Jones then, driver of the day for race number 2. And that's going to secure the end of the stream. So thank you very much, Julian, for joining me this evening. And I hope
Thank you very much for having me.
I hope you enjoyed the Tuesday night stream. Hopefully from next week we'll have a more solid and sustainable internet connection, so we can. I think we got to 7 disconnects during that race. So it was only 1 on Sunday for Bathurst, and that was 2.5 hours. So we'll have to get on board to our internet providers to see why that happened. I think it might be something to do with ACC, because actually the stream didn't disconnect once. So maybe a firewall permission somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much, chat, for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, apologies for the interruptions during the stream. I'm not too sure what happened there, but as ever, If you have any feedback for the stream, make sure you put it in hashtag stream feedback. If you're new to the stream or join the stream and wonder where you can sign up, the sign up link is in the chat. But yeah, thank you very much, Junior, for joining us. Thank you very much, chat, for joining us as well. And if you have any questions, make sure you click that Discord link, and we'll see you next time on Sunday, hopefully, touch wood, internet works, for the start of ACCSS Champion Season 2. Goodbye.
Thoughts, emotions swirl.